All right, welcome back to the Just the Watch of the Month Club, the May edition. This month we're going to be talking about field watches. Again, this is where I'm going to recommend to you two field watches, one at a bronze tier that will be always $60 or less, and one at the silver tier that will be $120 or less. Every month we look at a different category of watch. Every month I try and get some suggestions from you guys to help me pick the best watches in these two price ranges. And this is kind of as a substitute for people who are interested in getting a watch every month, but they don't want to actually sign up for a subscription service, because I think you can actually get a lot better watches if you just go out and do some research and buy watches on your own at these price ranges, rather than having someone send you a random watch every month that you don't know if you'll actually want or not. This month we're going to be talking about field watches. And let me announce next month's category as well. So next month we're going to be looking at chronograph watches. So, drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think the best chronograph watch you can get for $60 or less is, or what the best one you can get for $120 or less is. And we'll take a look at some of those next month, in the month of June, when we talk about chronograph watches. But this month we're going to be looking at field watches. As always, I'm going to run through a long list of honorable mentions towards the second half of this video. So we'll talk about the first two watches that I want to talk about that actually I'm giving the recommendation for, and then we'll talk about some honorable mentions, some other ones that you might want to consider in similar price ranges. All that said, let's go ahead and jump into the watches for today, starting with our bronze tier watch. So we're going to be going with the Vostok Komandierskie, which is kind of a cult classic. This is a Russian hand-wound field watch. So it's a very quirky watch, and it's typically a watch that's not for everybody. But I think, for these recommendations, the ones I want to pick, I want to try and pick some more interesting ones. The more standard ones that I think everybody already knows about will probably hit in the honorable mentions. But let's talk about the Komandierskie. So this is a Russian-made hand-wound mechanical field watch. It only has about a 20-meter water resistance, so you don't want to get this one wet. It comes with a kind of flimsy bi-directional bezel, but it can be used to time things if you get one of the bezels that has the timing functions on it. Comes in at 40 millimeters, and it has a high domed, I think it's like some kind of a polymer crystal, so like an acrylic or plasticky like crystal. So it's going to be very easy to scratch, but also fairly easy to clean up with some polywatch, or I've heard you can even use something like toothpaste to kind of buff out some of the scratches. So there's a lot of, I think, there's a lot of quirks to this watch. It's not for everyone, but it's only about $50. So you can pick these up for $50, and there's a huge array of different dial options. I'll put a couple of links to some of them on Amazon that you can look at below, but there's a lot of different ones that you can get. So if you spend some time looking around, you'll probably find one that kind of interests you. So you can pick your favorite one there. And I would recommend check out Relative Time. I'll put a link to his review, to Shane's review of this watch, and actually the next watch as well. So I didn't realize this until afterwards, but Shane had recommended in the comments both of these two watches. So basically, this month's recommendations brought to you essentially by Shane from Relative Time. But he also has great reviews, full reviews of both of these watches. So if you're considering them, definitely recommend you checking out his channel there and seeing the reviews of these. I'll put links to those below. Let's go ahead and move on to the silver. We're going to bump up a little bit, and for the silver category at $120 or less, we're going to be choosing the Orient Defender, will be this month's watch. So this is Orient's kind of field watch. So Orient and Seiko, both of them kind of really rule this category, and for me it was really hard to pick between the Orient and the Seiko SNG. Which we'll hit on in just a second, because that's definitely going to hit our honorable mentions. I think the Seiko SNG is a little bit safer option, but it's also more well known. The Orient Defender, what appealed to me about it is the kind of interesting and slightly more elegant dial design, and it's something that's a little bit less seen. It's a little bit more unique. You're still getting an automatic watch. The Defender features a 24-hour dial and a second day wheel. So it has a really interesting look with these kind of two sub-dials on it that really kind of give a different dial look to it. It's I feel like I like the dial design much better than the Seiko ones, but the lume is not quite as good. So there's a lot of trade-offs. There's a lot of trade-offs between these two. But for this, I'm going to go with the Orient Defender as the recommendation. Definitely, if you guys haven't heard of that one and you're interested in a field watch in this price range, I would say go check that one out. I like that it's kind of very versatile. You can dress it up or down and get a lot more wear out of it. The Orient Defender has a 100-meter water resistance, 42-millimeter case, and yeah, so great size, great options. To get it at $120, there was only one model, so only the gray dial was the only one that I could find that was at $120. Typically, this one ranges from $120 up to around $150. So if you're willing to spend a little bit more to get a different color, you can do that. But if you are really being strict and want to stay right at $120, the gray dial version is the only option I could find. As always, there will be links to all of these watches down below in the description where you can pick them up. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the honorable mentions for this month. We've got a lot of them, so I'm going to kind of run through them a little bit quickly, but these are all watches that I think you should be aware of if you're considering watches in this price range. And yeah, let's take a look. One of the things that people have been asking for is to add a gold category. That would maybe be like $200 or less for something that's a little bit nicer. I haven't decided if I'm going to officially do that or not, but I always want to throw in some slightly higher priced ones into the honorable mentions, so watches that I couldn't quite fit under that $120 silver tier, but maybe something that you would want to consider if you want to spend a little bit more. So these first three watches, you might consider this the unofficial gold category, and we'll talk about those. So the first one is actually going to be the Seiko SNZG 017J1. So we talked about this a little bit when I was talking about the Orient Defender. Is this this line being a competitor to it? And most of the watches on this line, you can find them. Most of the color options you can get them for around $100, between $100 and up to $120. So all of them would have fit into the silver category, except for this one. It comes on kind of a gunmetal stainless steel bracelet. But the thing that is actually really cool about this one, this is the only one that I'm aware of that the Arabic numerals on the dial are loomed in addition to the markers on the outer edge of the dial. Seiko puts some of the best loom on the market. So if they're adding more of it, it has a really cool loom profile. It's different than all of the other SNG watches. And if you're looking at that, I would definitely keep that in mind, because that's something that I've really been considering picking up, would be that particular one. But the SNZG line, they have I think 5 different colors, so you can get them in, if you don't care about that extra loom or you want a different color, you can pick it up in other colors in that. These are 40, I think they're 41 or 42 millimeters. I forget the exact diameter on this one, but they have 100-meter water resistance, automatic movement. Yeah, great watches, and yeah, definitely something to consider if you're looking at field watches. Okay, so next up we're going to look at the Vert field watch. This one comes in at $165, and it's made by a micro brand called Vert. They're based out of California, and they're really committed to trying to construct their watches in America, so they have kind of a unique story. Obviously, they can't do all of the parts, so the movements are sourced from outside the U.S. I think they use Swiss movements. You're getting sapphire crystal, you're getting a 40-millimeter case, 100-meter water resistance, and that assembled in the U.S., all for $165. I think they give you 2 straps as well, 2 different NATO straps as well at that price range. So I think it's actually a fairly good deal for the quality of the watch that you're getting, and it's a very nice looking watch. It's the kind of thing that you can easily dress up and dress down. And then finally, we'll look at the Boldr Venture, which is another micro brand, this one based out of Singapore. This one is a titanium watch. It comes in at $150, a little bit cheaper than the Vert. It's only a 38 millimeter, but you're getting a titanium case, so it's super light, has a sapphire crystal, and this one they're also throwing in a lifetime warranty. So really tough looking watch, kind of a nice modern look to it. I really like the dial design, and the case design in particular is a little bit different than a lot of the other field watches that you're going to see. They've definitely kind of gone for a more modern take on the field watch, and I think they did a really good job of it. Okay, so let's move on to this next section. We're going to look at 2 watches that I think are kind of more classic watches, probably ones that everyone thought of as soon as you start thinking of field watches in this price range. The first being the Timex Expedition Scout. So this is a 40 millimeter watch from Timex, absolute classic. It's a 40 millimeter that you can, I think they have a 36 millimeter version as well, so if you want a smaller one, you can get that. Has Timex's Indiglo feature, which is, again, one of my favorite features on any watch, with the Indiglo backlight. And very light, very comfortable, lots of different dial options, lots of different colors, case colors, strap options, a lot of different options there. And it's just a great classic field watch look. 50-meter water resistance, so it'll able to handle a lot. So, and those ones, they come in for anywhere from around $35 up to $50. Occasionally they'll go on sale for almost, I think I've seen them for $20, $25 on Amazon every once in a while. So definitely check those out if you're looking for something in the budget line. Next up, the Seiko SNK809 and variants. Obviously, if you're looking at field watches, if you haven't heard of this one, this is widely considered to be the best entry-level automatic there is. It was my first automatic, and I picked it up and wore it and really enjoyed it for a while. I wound up getting rid of it because I thought the case was too small for my wrist. As I've been wearing more watches, that's become less of a concern. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to pick this little Seiko 5 up, because I wanted to try a small case again. I haven't tried a watch with a case size under 40 millimeters since that one. So maybe my preference might have changed a little bit. So a really great watch. These ones, they range from anywhere from about $75 up to $90. So they have gone up in price a little bit. Okay, so next let's look at a couple of solar powered watches because I think there's some good solar powered options. I think that's a nice feature to have for a field watch. That said, let's look at two solar powered watches. The first being the Citizen BM8180-03E. I wish they had a better name for it than that. So this one is a really kind of classic field watch design. I really like the look of it. Very kind of military-esque dial design, a nice green canvas strap, and it's coming in at only 37 millimeters. So it's another small one, which for field watches, I think a lot of times if you're actually using it as a field watch, a smaller case size is better. It's not going to get in your way when you're hiking. It's less likely to get caught on things. Usually it'll be lighter and yeah, just better for being outdoors in. Solar powered, and again, 100-meter water resistance, which is a great feature on that. If you want something a little bit bigger, a little bit bolder, you can also check out the Seiko SNE329. And that one has a 43 millimeter case size, so much larger case, but you're getting, again, a kind of a modern military look. You're getting a canvas strap, 100-meter water resistance, and a solar powered movement. Both of those watches are about $90, around the same price, so pretty reasonable price for getting a nice solar powered watch from a major brand like Citizen or Seiko. All right, so we're going to wrap this up with two watches that I just think are kind of cool and maybe a little bit more on the fashionable side. They're both fairly large. Both of these are 44 millimeter case sizes, so they're big watches, but they have some very nice looks to them, and I think that the price is fairly reasonable. So first off, we're going to take a look at the Momentum Steelix. So the Steelix is a 44 millimeter case size, again, big case, very bold numerals, very easy to read, highly legible. And the kind of the cool thing about this one is that you get a 200-meter water resistance and a screw-down crown. So it's basically, you know, just as great, just as good for scuba diving as a diver would be. You can pick up, there's two versions of it. You can get it with a mineral crystal for $100, or you can get it with a sapphire crystal for $135. So I'll leave links to both of those down below. So that's also definitely something I would check out. Also, a very stylish watch is the Nixon Ranger. And this is a watch that I used to own myself. It's one that I really, really enjoyed. In fact, I wound up giving it to my younger brother, and he's been wearing it. 44 millimeters, you get a 100-meter water resistance. And then this one, so there's a bunch of different versions, but this particular one has a countdown timer bezel. So the bezel is it's like a timing bezel, but it's a countdown timer instead of a count up timer, which is a little bit unique and very useful complication to have. Now with the Nixon Ranger, again, you can get it, there's a lot of different versions, so you can get it on metal bracelet, you can get it on leather strap, you can get it in a 40 millimeter case size, 44 millimeter case size, 45 millimeter case size. Some of them have bezels, some of them don't have bezels, some of them have looms, some of them don't have looms, some of them have different colored dials, some of them have chronographs, all different complications. So there's a huge range of Nixon Rangers out there, and the price varies wildly. This particular one that I'm recommending is similar to the one that I used to own. You can get it for about $70, which I think is a great price for the watch that you're getting there. But they range anywhere from, I think you could find them sometime as cheap as $50 to like $250 or $300. Once you start getting past, I think $150, it's not really worth it anymore. But for anything that you can find under $100, I think is a great value for the Nixon Ranger. So with that said, that's going to wrap up our Watch of the Month Club for May. field watches. Again, next month we're going to be looking at chronograph watches. As always, please drop me a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite chronograph is for under $60 and your favorite chronograph under $120 is, so that I can look it up and consider including them in next month's Watch of the Month Club. So next month in June, again, chronographs. As always, please leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this month's selections. If you own any of these watches, what your experience has been with them. And yeah, we'll continue doing this, and I hope you guys enjoy this and that you find it useful. Again, I apparently have joined my own Watch of the Month Club. I don't know if I'll be picking up any of these particular ones in the next month, but who knows? We'll see what happens. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Enjoy doing these and putting these out and interacting with you, and we'll see you next time.